Hack RedCon, day one, another interview with another amazing guest. Ben from BuildCyber, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what brings you over here to Hack RedCon today?
Yeah, so my name's Ben Watkins. I was one of those developers who kind of got pulled into the InfoSec space as like my cybersecurity friends were like, can you automate this? Like, do you think you could write something to do this or that?
Oh, we in cyber love you guys.
Yeah. So,
you know, somebody who's a developer that security is not an afterthought.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's basically my CISO at where I worked at basically poached me from our development department, was like, hey, why don't you just come run our like AppSec program instead? And basically I knew where the skeletons were buried at that point, so I kind of got forcefully assimilated.
So we do have cameras for our, you know, if you're only listening to the audio part of this, those of you that are on the video, watch his face. I have one word that I would love to get your thoughts on. DevSecOps. I told you.
Yeah. I'm very serious if you can't see the video.
Yeah, his face did not completely break down and he was trying to stifle a laugh. Didn't happen.
I imagine we're gonna have there'll be another prefix we'll throw on to DevSecOps at some point too. But the idea of putting automation to ensure that stuff gets deployed right is great. But the way that management weaponizes all these things can get to be a bit of obnoxious at times.
Does the major outage that happened about a year ago, and again, I'm not going to go into actual company names, but it started with Crowd and ended with Ike.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'll let you Google it. You'll figure it out. Yeah. You know, there's that automation.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think it's actually funny you bring up the DevSecOps because I literally, DevSecOps is kind of what I'm like a DevOps engineer at my current role. I literally we're under this DevSecOps initiative right now for trying to get all of our stuff in and blending in the not the value with actually getting stuff done is always such a pain whenever you're working in a buzzword kind of industry, right?
Oh,
How do you make sure that your KPIs aren't just out there up in the clouds and stuff?
Oh, dude, you know, to that point, you know, BuildCyber, you guys are essentially an educational platform.
Yes.
So how do you wrap your head around that?
Yeah, so I've always been very passionate about education and how a lot of times people take learning in our brains are much more mechanical. I mean, than what people think. They think and I'm from a rural very 1,300 people small town type deal where a lot of the whole there's a lot of self-deprecation in the sense of, well, I'm just not good at math, or I'm just not a smart person or whatever, right? But whenever you break down topics, people realize that oh, my brain does work. You know, that's the thing that's brought humans to be able to put implants inside their body, right? Shout out. So going from there and then getting involved with the BuildCyber voucher program, which started at Hack RedCon beta, maybe a little bit before that, which I volunteered at, which is how I got plugged into all the Red Seer guys and all this stuff. I've been at every Hack Con they had and volunteered at it so far. And so I was actually one of the first BuildCyber students for the OSCP and stuff too. And we were
That's
in there,
awesome,
we were learning.
So you're one of the success cases.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Not even something like that. You are one. If you went through the program and you did one of the voucher programs and you're doing the job, guess what?
Works.
Number one, it works if you work it, but you've just proved that this program and process can produce respectable, security practitioners.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, the mentors that are inside of it are so good. Like Ken Nevers and Kevin Velasquez and Zach and all of them are, they're so busy with all their stuff, but they're still if I ever reach out for something technical from them, they're always right there to help out, right?
Well, that is one thing in my experience. Like I said, I've been in this space for about 30 years now, and the space itself, the people in the cybersecurity space, we are all very, for the most part, free with our knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just, I hate to use the term, script kiddie or wannabe, we don't like you guys that much, but if you want to learn, we'll teach. But I love the fact that, we in this community are so open with our information and we want people to learn and we want people to get better.
Yeah.
But I want to come back to a topic we were just talking about. You're a DevOps engineer in your day-to-day operations. I brought up DevSecOps for a reason. I am one of the most anti-automation human beings you will ever see. Yeah. How do we, and being in that field, I want to know, as somebody that's a DevOps engineer, how do you ride that security line and coming from that space, how do we build security into the framework of DevOps?
Yeah, that's a good question. And so, like, a take that we have, and we do this, and we also do this at BuildCyber as well, is making sure that we have security controls that are like basically like non-negotiables that we want to put in place, right? And then from there, we know that we build the automation to enable developers to easily stand up, new applications or buckets or WAFs, right? And so it's like, cool. Well, if you're using this pipeline, then it's coming in with all this pre-baked stuff anyways.
So you're building it in before you even give it to the developers then?
Yeah, so we're currently, what's one of the things I think our initiative's doing really well, doing really good right now is that we're like an embedded team. And so a lot of times, like, because here's the thing that I always tell like my devs is that like, I understand that if the business wasn't like beating you with the stick right now, you would have like, like you like the technical stuff at heart, all that stuff. And so I'm here as like a security guy to be your basically like liaison and say, I will get you the time to work on it if you'll work on it, right? We can use InfoSec as like a business reason to have time to fix the stuff that you actually want to take and make it like an investment in the technology that you work on every day.
This is really, really interesting. This is the first time I've heard this type of an idea, but it makes a lot of sense. Typically when I talk to DevOps engineers, they're basically developers, and you're right. The concept of DevOps in general is quicker turnaround, quicker time to market. But there is no liaison between those who are giving the direction of what they want and the people that are doing it.
Correct.
Maybe there needs to be a new position that's created to address that communication gap between the developers and the program managers to actually build in security.
Yeah, and like advocate on their behalf too,
absolutely.
Right? And it all goes like, and that's why it's important for your development department to not report to whoever's driving product, right? Because eventually, like at some point, it's like someone's gonna make the hard decision that says, no, we're pushing out this deadline, or we're gonna build a secure product, right?
Absolutely.
And if you ask your project managers, they don't,
Acceptable risks,
yeah.
The two words that every security conscious individual hates. To spin this off in a different direction for just a second, you guys are an educational platform, and this is something, we had the Meta CTF guy in here right before you, and, they're an educational platform as well. And I asked him this same question. With the fact that AI, LLMs, and the encroachment of ease of code, how do you see education for cyber moving forward?
Yeah, it's a great question, and that's something we touched a little bit on like the panel this morning too. Is that we've already seen this through the precursor to this was being able to like Google something, right? Absolutely. I don't need to remember. I don't need to store anything into my brain if I can just Google it. But what we kind of forget about is that in order to be creative with an idea or to innovate, you have to be able to hold that idea in your head already. Right.
You need the fundamentals.
Yes.
One of the there was an article I read, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. It said telling a collegiate student that to learn to code is worse than getting a face tattoo.
That is interesting. What was the?
I can give it was on futurism.com. I can give you the article. But with the concept of vibe coding now, they are actually telling students, don't even worry to learn to code. And that goes directly to the point that you just made, and something I've been saying all along. AI, and there's a huge difference between AI, LLM, and ML.
For sure.
LLMs, in my opinion, are nothing more than a glorified database, and prompting is just 21st century SQL engineering. But the ML, and that is something different. We need somebody that has the fundamentals and the creativity to be able to put something in to get something out. Yeah. So do you think that education around language and being able to elegantly speak is going to become a crucial role in our industry in the future?
Yeah, I think it already is, especially in maybe not even just in our industry, but in the generation that is growing up as well, because all the sound bites are condensed down to, you're consuming a lot more than anyone's writing. Writing is such a dying art form.
Hey, I'm an author. Watch it.
Yeah, teach me how to write then, because that's being able to form language though. It's super important when it comes to spreading your ideas and getting change done too, right? Anybody who's worked at a big company knows that the reason stuff doesn't get done.
Change management.
Yeah, it's bureaucracy, it's knowledge silos, it's the fact that communication just breaks down when you have a meeting of more than 5 people, you know. But like going back to is it coding worth it to learn? We keep running up against this thing with, and AI LLMs keep agents, or however we want to classify these things.
The thing.
Yeah, it keeps getting better as it, as time progresses, and law of accelerating returns. It'll keep getting better faster. All that's great, but it really breaks down whenever, when the devil's in the details on
Absolutely.
that, right? Like, what was it like a couple months ago? People were like, "Oh, developers are so cooked. I can say generate me a single page application," and you're like,
I saw a meme the other day, and you'll get a laugh out of this. And it was like, man, I put my code into this LLM to try and revise my code. It completely streamlined it, made 4 modules, created a DLL. Wow, that's awesome. Did it improve the performance? No, it didn't work, but it looked cool.
Yeah, exactly. Got a README now that comes with it.
Yeah,
commented my code. And then you take that and you say, here's a 10-year-old data application written in COBOL. You know what I mean? But the documentation's not out there. It's not super relevant. Or there's 15 years of tribal knowledge into this legacy application. Like, good luck. You know what I mean? And so I think that's where you see a lot of this stuff break down. And that's also where being able to learn how to code helps you orchestrate these LLMs, kind of what we were talking about earlier.
I agree. I think it's going to become a more almost philosophical position.
Yeah, like abstract, more architecture. Right?
Architectural, abstract, metaphysical kind of thing, where we're almost going to need to be almost like cyber prophets.
Yeah, I like that, cyber prophets. That's like a perfect company name.
Yes.
Right now, I'm going to trademark the hell out of that. Real quick.
It already is. It's mine. It's on recording. I said it first.
Called dibs.
But I think we're people like us who are willing to have these conversations. We need to continue to do so. Yeah. And I really appreciate what you and BuildCyber are doing. I think that education is going to be the only thing that really helps us moving forward. I really do.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's what the platform, if you go to BuildCyber, shameless plug, if you go to BuildCyber.ai, we have all the videos for the past conferences and stuff on there. So you can watch all the old HackRedCon, HackSpaceCon videos.
Oh, and for anybody that hasn't been to HackSpaceCon, it is awesome.
It's awesome.
Could you imagine doing a conference at Kennedy Space Center?
It's great.
Underneath a rocket ship?
Yeah, and everyone stays up late drinking water all night and watches watching the rockets go off. There's always been 1 or 2 that have went off when we're down there. You feel it in your chest. It's great.
Oh. Yeah. So you've said that you've been to every single one of the HackRed or this organization's conferences. How do you feel so far about 2025?
I'm getting excited. So It's been very cool watching from when we took HackRedCon beta, which was at the Marriott downtown, right? And then we were like, oh, cool. How do we do a little bit of a difference conference, right? And then there was the Louisville Slugger last year. Then it was Churchill Downs, and now we're
I love Churchill Downs, man.
Yeah, this is great. JCTC, and then the Kennedy Space Center, HackSpaceCon. There's a lot of good stuff coming up, and there's Sec Talks I think are coming soon as well. I don't know if anybody else has talked about that, but 2025 and 2026 I think are going to be really cool. I mean, I can't believe 2025 is already halfway gone.
I know. Do you have anything personal coming up that you want to shout out? Any events you're going to? Any place people can see you?
We'll be at DEF CON. So we're actually doing the community. We're doing an education community at DEF CON that BuildCyber is going to be kind of putting on.
Are you going to be down in the Village area?
I think so. I'm not quite sure about that.
Well, if you are, come see me. I'll be over at the Adversary.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I actually bounce between the Adversary Village and the Biohacking Village.
Okay.
But check it out. If you're going to be there, I'm also putting out we filmed a documentary on transhumanism. We're going to be doing our global screening in Vegas at the Starlight.
Nice.
I will get you an invite.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I will definitely bug you about that.
All right. Well, last thing, why don't you throw out your contact details if anybody wants to get in touch with you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, so I'm Ben the Human on Discord, Benjamin Watkins on LinkedIn, and then BuildCyber.ai. There's come out there. There's plenty of forms you can reach me that way. Email, feel free to reach out as benjamin.watkins at alexandrialabs.org. Anything that you want to throw out for BuildCyber? Yeah, so BuildCyber.ai, you can go on there. The platform is free right now. It's in beta. We're rapidly prototyping on it. So we're moving fast and breaking things right now. But isn't that the fun part? It's the best part. And so love to let us know if there's stuff broken. Come out and use it. We'd love to hear improvements. We're trying to make sure that this is a tool that the community can use to build the flywheel of mentorship, of education, and just a rising tide raises all boats. Absolutely. If there's anything I can do to help you guys out, I am all for education. And with that, another interview down, more to go. HackRedCon Day 1 continues. Till next time. Peace. Peace.